भूतभव्यभवन्नाथः पवनः पावनो नलः कामः कामकृत्कान्तः कामः कामप्रदः प्रभुः भूतभव्यभवन्नाथः 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 पवनः पावनो नलः पवनः पावनो नलः पवनः पावनो नलः कामः कामकृत्कान्तः कामः कामकृत्कान्तः कामः कामकृत्कान्तः कामः कामप्रदप्रभुः कामः कामप्रदप्रभुः कामः कामप्रदः प्रभुः भूतभव्यभवन्नाथः पवनः पावनो नलः कामः कामकृत्कान्तः कामः कामप्रदः प्रभुः. In this shloka number 32, we have 10 names from 290 to 299. The 290th nama is Bhuta Bhavya Bhavan Nathah. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Bhuta Bhavya Bhavan Nathaya Namaha. We have seen a similar nama in shloka number 1 as Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhuhu. In shloka number 1, the value attributed was that God is above the time and stands as the regulator of the time. A Nath is more associated with personalized representation. Hence, here Acharya takes it as the Lord of all beings in the past, present and the future, expressing his anubhavam as Bhuta Bhavya Bhavatam Bhuta Gramanam Nathah, and further qualifies the devotion that the world shows towards the divine and says Taihi Yachyate Tan Upatapati, which means to safeguard and protect Tesham Ishte, their desires as well. Together, one who is sought for protection as well as the fulfillment of desires is the meaning here. Shasti itiva. And more importantly, he is the one who governs and regulates all of us. Hence he is called Bhuta Bhavya Bhavan Nathah. For meditation, we should contemplate on the fact that the self, the I, the soul, is the one that induces the ability in me to think. The ability to think makes you also assume that you are the one who is thinking. Moksha or liberation is to become free from that assumed self. We should be able to see our own thoughts just as we see any other object. However, till such realization is achieved, seek the protection and the desires from God. See God as one who is a superior power and surrender the self, the thought-filled and ego-based self, to God. The 291st nama is Pavanah. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Pavanaya Namaha. Shankaracharya expresses his anubhavam as Pavatiti Pavanah. Pavatah comes from the root pu, which signifies purification. Hence, Acharya says, since Bhagavan purifies us, he is called Pavanah. Very similar to the nama Pavitram, which we saw in shloka number 7. Acharya quotes Bhagavan's words in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, shloka 31. Pavanah pavatamasmi ramashastra-bhrutamaham jashanam makaraschasmi srotasamasmi janhavi. An alternate way to look at the nama is to attribute wind as the meaning. Pavan is a common word in Hindi as well. The root of the word is pavi, which means to move. Since the wind moves, it is also called pavanaha. Here the value is to see Bhagavan as the wind which sustains the life in all. Hence the nama Pavanaha is attributed to Bhagavan. For meditation purposes, we emphasize the value of Pranan. We should cherish and uphold the value of how the 5 pranas contribute to our existence and contemplate on the value of pranayama as an exercise of direct association with God. This fits both as the one which purifies as well as the one which sustains and supports our life. The 5 pranas regulate our entire body, supports the functions of our body, and sustains the body from decay. The 292nd nama is Pavanah. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Pavanaya Namaha. This nama occurs again in shloka number 87. Shankaracharya gives his anubhavam as Pavayati iti Pavanah. Pavayati means one who drives, and Shankaracharya gives the quote from Taittiriya Upanishad. This comes in the Brahmananda Valli. Asya agnihi tapati suryah indrah vayuh mrityuh davati panchamah. It is out of fear of him, the Brahman, that the fire burns, the sun shines, Indra, the wind, the death, everyone functions. The mantra emphasizes that all forces, from the smallest, which is the Agni, to the most fearsome, the Mrityu, the death, are dependent on Brahman for their existence and functions. In support, we also have a quote from Uttarakand of Ramayana. Herein, Sri Ram is praised as Pavanah Sarvalokanam Tam Eva Raghunandana. Lord Rama, you are the one who makes this entire world function. This mantra inspires us to meditate on Brahman as the unchanging reality behind all actions and phenomena. The 293rd nama is Analaha. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Analaya Namaha. This nama will come again in shloka number 76. Shankaracharya expresses his anubhavam as Anan Pranan Atmatvena Latiti Jivaha Analaha. Nalater Gandhavachino Nanchapurvadva Agandham Arasam iti Shrutehe. Na alam paryaptam asya vidyatha iti va analaha. Breathing, as in life-sustaining forces, the pranan, atmatvena latiti, means the soul grasps it or absorbs it as the jivan. Hence, the fire force is called analaha. Acharya establishes that this concept can be understood in 2 ways. One, based on Veda, fire itself has no association to smell and taste. This establishes the dissociation between the bodily functions and the pranan. The attachments we develop is meaningless even at the level of pranan, what to say of Atman. Alternately, one can see the fire as an element that remains unsatisfied. It keeps consuming or dies, be it in the body or outside. The context is fire is unsatiable, na alam, where alam means sufficient, enough or satisfied. God continues to create eternally, emphasizing unsatisfied as the concept, and remains without any attachment if we take the dissociation as the concept. Because Bhagavan perfectly fits with both the definitions, this nama Analaha is an apt one for Bhagavan. Another Acharya provides an alternate Anubhavam based on Daya Suktam, shloka number 29. Daya Suktam is composed by Swami Vedanta Desika, which praises the divine qualities of compassion as an embodiment of Sri Varadaraja Perumal, one of the forms of Lord Vishnu worshipped at Kanchipuram in Tamil Nadu. This shloka emphasizes the never-ending compassion expressed by God, who gladly consumes your sins, as in forgives them, when one surrenders with true devotion. This is a great value for meditation. I will remain unsatisfied in doing my duties towards the Kshetra Paripalana, how much soever or whatsoever I get as an opportunity to perform, I perform with enthusiasm. The pleasure or the pain that I receive as an outcome is the component of the object and not the fire that my functions are. The 294th Nama is Kamaha. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Kamagne Namaha. Shankaracharya expresses his Anubhavam as Kaman Hanti Mumukshunam Bhaktanam Himsakanam cha iti Kamaha. Desires are destroyed for those who seek liberation, Mumukshunam, for devotees, Bhaktanam, as well as for the violent individuals, the Himsakanam. Since it is the nature of Bhagavan to remove the Kama, that which becomes the source of adharma, he is called Kamaha. The value for meditation that we take is to contemplate on desires. With desires, there are two possibilities. Either the desire is fulfilled or it is not. If it is fulfilled, the result is to desire for more. The greed, lobham, develops. If it is not fulfilled, the outcome is anger and frustration, krodham and dukkham. In tradition, there is a japam called Kamokarashit Manyurakarashit japam. Objective of this is to reinforce to our awareness that it is not me who is the doer. It is the desire and anger which is the driver of all that I do. There is considerable emphasis given in spirituality to drive the removal of desire in us. Devotion helps us overcome this difficulty. Devotion actually is a form of desire for something of higher value. As your desire evolves, as your desire matures to something of higher value, the desires towards those having lower value vanishes. This happens as we acquire the right knowledge about our desires in life. As we learn about God, our quality of desire changes to something of larger value, of higher value, and obviously the ones in the lower order vanishes. This is the value for meditation on this Nama. The 295th Nama is Kamakrit. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Kamakrite Namaha. Shankaracharya expresses his Anubhavam on this Nama as Satvikanam Kaman Karoti iti Kamakrit. Kamaha Pradyumnaha Tasya Janakatvatva. He is called Kamakrit because he creates and fulfills the desires of those with sattvic qualities. Acharya adds an alternate explanation. He is also identified with Pradyumna because Lord Vishnu is the father of Pradyumna. Pradyumna is the name of a deity often identified as a form of Kama. An alternate way this Nama attributes the value to Bhagavan is seeing him as the one who creates the desirable things, thus fulfilling our desires. We see the Nama continuing the expressions from the previous Nama, Kamam Harati or Hanti. The objective is to destroy the desires. This is also done by providing the means for one to get the wishes fulfilled. So, the meditation value is to develop the mumukshutvam, a committed desire to know the Supreme in you. Contemplate on the following. Desire is a natural occurrence in the antakarana. Means the combination of chittam, buddhi, manam and ahankaram is the source for the desire to arise in you. Desire is triggered by a void that you feel in you and associate it with a knowledge of something that is available to fill that void. Remember, you will never have a desire to a thing that you don't know exists. It is an important value. I am going to repeat it. Desires have a tendency to mature. For example, when I was 8, I got a game called Gilli Danda. I was so attached to it that I used to sleep with it. Over a period of time, this desire vanished since I became more attracted to field hockey. I lost interest in Gilli Danda. Basically, a desire of a lower order is destroyed when you develop desire for something of a higher value. Bhagavan induces the desire for greater value. The ultimate and the greatest value is God Himself. And because He induces such desires in us, He is called Kamakrit. The 296th Nama is Kantah. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Kantaya Namaha. This Nama will be seen again in Shloka number 70. Shankaracharya expresses his Anubhavam as Abhirupatamaha Kantah. Abhi as a prefix indicates towards, fitting or appropriate. Rupaha means form, beauty, appearance or shape. Tamaha, it's a superlative suffix meaning the most. Thus the meaning is the most appropriate or the most fitting in appearance or form. Kantaha means one who attracts. He attracts because he is most fitting in appearance. The world or everything that you see or experience which is fitting or appropriate naturally attracts you. For meditation, look at the term attraction. Contemplate on your own mind and see what attracts you and explore why. Vedic Parampara associates this to Kamaha, which is one of the 4 Purusharthas, Dharmam, Artham, Kamam and Moksham. Kamaha refers to the aesthetic values. Even persons living in a hut have the same passion towards their house as a mansion owner. This is because the aesthetic values brings a harmony. In management, we give value to increasing the aesthetics at work. Like you have a board, you put recognitions and pictures there. When aesthetic beauty is upheld, you bring about a harmony or synchronization in the union. This helps reduce turbulence in mind and evolution of bigger ideas or bigger aspects occur. In tradition, we say that Kantaha drives your Kamaha to mature. This is therefore an important value to meditate upon. The 297th Nama is Kamaha. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Kamaya Namaha. As an Upasarga, this Nama also comes in Shloka number 70 as Kamadevaha, Kamapalaha and Kami. In Shloka number 91, it comes as Sarva Kamadaha. Shankaracharya gives his Anubhavam as Kamyate Purushartha Abhikankshibhi iti Kamaha. Kamaha is called so because it is desired by those who aspire for human goals, the Purusharthas. Alternately, the Nama attributes the value one who is lovable. Another attribution is one who is in the form of the god of love, Manmatha. There are also others, those who associate Kamaha with the sequence of previous namas, Kamaha, Kamakrit and Kantaha, and see Bhagwan as Kamaha for his nature of being Kamaha, Kamakrit and Kantaha. There are several other attributions, such as he is the supreme object of desire for devotees and spiritual aspirants. He is the fulfiller of righteous desires. He is the source of creation through his will or divine desire. He symbolizes pure selfless longing of the soul for liberation and union with the divine. All these make him Kamaha. Developing the love towards Bhagavan is the value to meditate upon this Nama. The 298th Nama is Kama Pradaha. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Kama Pradaya Namaha, the granter of wishes. Shankaracharya expresses his anubhavam as Bhaktebhyaha Kaman Prakarshena Dadhati iti Kama Pradaha. Bhaktebhyaha, to the devotees, or for the benefit of those who are devoted. Kaman, the desires or wishes, prakarshena, in abundance or in an excellent manner, perfectly and exceedingly, dadati, granting or fulfilling. He is called Kamapradaha because he grants desires abundantly and excellently to his devotees. We refer to Kathopanishad, chapter 2, Valli 2, mantra 13. Sa ekaha bahunam yo vidadhati kaman tam atmastham yah anupashyanti dhiraha tesham sukham shashvatam na itharesham. He, the one which is the Supreme Being, who fulfills the desires of the many, those wise ones who perceive him as residing within their own self attain eternal bliss. For others, the Itaresham, who do not realize this, there is no eternal happiness. For our meditation, we take a value based on this. The term granter means one who helps the desire to be fulfilled. It is only the Vivekaha that can help quench desire. Herein, Vivekaha means intelligence. When you seek him, he grants himself as per your wish. Once you experience the divine, all other desires vanish. Thus, he is the granter of all the desires by himself becoming the desire in you. This is part of a very beautiful line, and together it can be taken as a value to meditate. Kamaha kamakrit kantaha kama kama prada prabhu. The 299th Nama is Prabhu. For the purpose of Pushparchana, we say Om Prabhave Namaha. As per dictionary, the meaning that we have for the word Prabhu are mighty, powerful, authority, master, lord, owner, etc. Shankaracharya expresses his anubhavam as Prakarshena Bhavanat Prabhu. The Lord Prabhu is so called because of his supreme existence or greatness in the being. There are several reasons why he is called the greatest. Let us look at some of them. 1. Brahman or Ishvaraha excels in everything and is the source of all creation and existence. 2. In line with the context in the shloka, one who has the supreme power to attract the minds of everyone towards him. 3. One who does not slip from the path of dharma, achyutah. 4. By always having his indriyas under his control, hrishikeshah. 5. By being the one who annihilates demonic forces, Madhusudana. In every form, the Lordship has been established, and in everything one can see the Prabhu in him.